I am. I'm Aina Alive, and I'm an Agile coach and have about 10 years of experience in project management and Agile and software. And I have trying to do it bi-weekly webinars free on LinkedIn on different topics. So if you'd like me to cover like any topic related to project management or Agile, feel free to message me on LinkedIn, and I will be happy to prepare something very soon. And hi, Marcella, I see you on camera. So today, many people ask me about ChatGPT and what's more important. Can ChatGPT replace us as like intellectual workers, as like project managers and IT people, product owners, and Agile coaches? So I decided why not to ask ChatGPT itself. So its response was no. I'm not able to replace you guys, so we can with feeling better after this response, because ChatGPT doesn't have soft skills and communication skills. So yeah, as long as we can communicate with each other and understand each other and feel compassionate to each other, ChatGPT won't be able to replace us. And hi, Trina, happy to see you. Happy to see you on camera. Trina has been with me probably since my first meetings on LinkedIn, so always happy to see people who supported me from the beginning. And let me start sharing my screen so you guys see the agenda of today. And also the meeting is recorded and I'm going to upload it on the YouTube channel later. So I make it shorten to encourage people to attend the live webinars. So like on the YouTube is going to be mostly like the presentation without Q&A. So if you have questions, feel free to stay and talk about this new technology. But coming back to the agenda, so first we will talk about ChatGPT, explore the new tool, what ChatGPT actually is, how to create OpenAI account. We will continue with tips on how to access real-time data, because if you know ChatGPT is limited by 2021 and doesn't have any data after 2021, but there is a trick, there is a new plugin which allows us to access something further than 2021. And how different is Google versus ChatGPT, because many also confused, like, why do we need another like research tool? But they both can serve us, but they are different. So we will stop and spend some time here, and then we will go to the meat of the presentation. So ChatGPT is an assistant in Agile project management, and we will cover using the examples, so ideas on how to use ChatGPT in Agile project management. So we start with a high level, and then we will spend some time on the prompt writing, also automation of routine tasks, creating action plans and writing emails, and also saying no politely, because I notice like many of my team members, so they are hesitant to say no, especially in a polite way, or like if English is not your first language, or if like people are developers or testers, so people with hard skills, and sometimes during the business meetings, they try to refuse to business leaders because it's impossible to build from the technological side, but they don't know how to explain it to business, so business will understand. So it leads to miscommunication when business sees the developers as like lazy or like complainers or fighters, and developers see business people as not as smart leaders as we would like them to be. But both is not true, it's just miscommunication, because business don't really understand IT language. They prefer people to communicate their language, which is business language. And IT people used to hard skills, used to speak like IT terminologies. So when they communicate to business, business simply doesn't understand what they say. So ChatGPT is going to be a great asset for us on how to bring this bridge together and unite business and IT finally, so people will say no in a polite way and leaders will understand and take some actions instead of blaming each other. Then we will move on to prioritization, writing documentation, metrics, and ChatGPT, and finish with how to study with this new technology, how to summarize books, and also how to create learning plans and even test cases for our knowledge. And to the conclusion, we will speak with ChatGPT a little bit and then move on to the questions and answers. So let's get it started. So what ChatGPT is? So you probably heard this buzzword that ChatGPT is a cutting-edge language model that can perform a variety of writing and information retrieval tasks. And if you never used ChatGPT before, this is how it looks like, and this is the free version. So if you don't know where to start, just open Google and type ChatGPT here, like login. So it will bring you to the page of OpenAI. So you go to the OpenAI and you will see like login. In my case, it's going to be login because I already have an account. For you, it's going to be a sign up if you don't have an account. So just press sign up. It will ask for your email, and basically it's very easy to register. And then you will see the screen like what I'm sharing right now. So here you see, like I already used the chat a lot, creating like different conversations with it. If you are using it the first time, it's going to be clean here. So you will see like clear conversation buttons, upgrade to plus. So as far as I know, it provides like a bit more precise answers and a higher speed, but still the current speed is okay for me. So if you're a newbie, it provides examples. So what can you do with this technology? So for example, explain quantum computing in simple terms, or got any creative ideas for a 10-year-old birthday, capabilities, limitations. But if you are experienced with ChatGPT, you see that the bottom of my window is a bit different from the others. So you see web access, 3 results anytime in any region. So it's not like typical for regular ChatGPT. And this is the trick and the new technology for us to access the information after 2021. So you see the web access. So now it's off, but if I plug it on, so it will show me the results after 2021. So I will show you an example. So what are the best movies in 2022? So you see, without this plugin, then an AI language model, I do not have access to future events, including movies, have not been released. So thank you very much for this reply. Now the same question. So now having the web access, it provides us the results of the best movies in 2022, and I limited with 3 results to make it faster for this presentation. So you see, it also provides the links, and the links actually work. Before this plugin, when I asked to generate the links for the reports I've been using to create some presentations, all links were fake. I tried to click any link and it showed like totally different information, or like the link didn't exist. So that's how the ChatGPT was before. Now you see it provides the link here, like one 2, and 3. So if we click on all of them, I click just on the first. So I asked for the best movies, and it showed me the Rotten Tomatoes. The best movie of 2022 ranked. So it's not that it created like from somewhere, we don't know where. We have the true links, we have the rates 100%, 99, 98%. So that's how we know. And you might wonder what this link is about. So we can Google web chat GPT extension. If we click here, so since I already installed it, you see remove from Chrome. But if you are doing it the first time, you will see this icon, web chat GPT. So you will just need to install it. Again, it's super easy. If I managed to do it, you will also be able to do it. So you will just install it in Chrome, and it will automatically unite with ChatGPT. So you will have web access to 2022 and further information. Now I will pause here to see what we have on our chat now. Yeah, how ChatGPT and Agile are linked, wanted to know. Yeah, we will move on to that. It's now also integrated in Bing Microsoft Search Engine. Wonderful. I don't use Bing much, so I didn't know this information. Thank you very much, Ziad, for jumping in. All right, let's move on to the meat of the presentation today. So ChatGPT as an assistant in Agile project management. And let's start with ideas on how to use ChatGPT in Agile project management. And to the question how ChatGPT and Agile are connected. So like we started our presentation of telling that ChatGPT won't replace project managers, agilists, and product owners. So don't worry about that. But you know, if you are especially like experienced project manager, you need an assistant or a junior project manager to delegate some tasks, for example, to create a template for you, or to write meeting notes or action plans, or send the emails like meeting notes out of the meetings. So ChatGPT can be like a really good assistant for you, sometimes even better of assistants I had, or when I just started my career of as a project manager, I was a horrible assistant. I am not detail oriented, so I always made mistakes in some details. So nowadays we have ChatGPT who can save us some nerves and some time of not dealing with mediocre assistants, and also help us to create templates such as resource allocation, risk management templates, project budgeting templates, improving like communication, as we already spoke about, say no politely, learning and new skills, create project plan, work breakdown structure, detailed roadmap or Gantt chart, communication plan, project status report, stakeholder management template. So all of this you can create using ChatGPT. And let's start with the example. I create a project plan that includes a timeline, budget, and resource distribution for a project. And just out of the blue project, an online shopping website for a retail company in France with a team of 5 developers and 2 testers. The team also has 1 project manager and 1 UX designer with a budget of $500,000 and 4 months deadline. Quite tough deadline, by the way, for this budget and this project. The idea of the website is that this company can sell their product mostly online. So let's just copy this and go to our chat. Oh, I will turn it off. All right, and in seconds, we have a project name, online shopping website for a retail company in France. We have project goals to design and develop a fully functional and user-friendly online shopping website for a retail company in France with aim of increasing their online sales and revenue. We have project teams, so the summary out of my description: 1 project manager, 1 UX designer, 5 developers, 5 testers. We have project timeline: months first, planning and requirement gathering; months second, UX design and wireframing; months third, development and testing; months fourth, deployment and launch. We have budget, we have resource distribution. The project manager is like 10% of budget, UX designer 15, developers 50, etc. We have tasks breakdown for months 1, months 2, months 3, months 4. We have a contingency plan, and we have a conclusion. So pretty good for just like a few seconds of work. And definitely, if we have experienced project managers here, it would be like far from an ideal project plan, but it will take us some time to create at least the frame like that. So the frame was created already for us, and now, as I see someone mentioned on chat that artificial intelligence is a tool and it does not think it can only respond based on what we input. And I totally agree with that. So I place the input of this description, and maybe it wasn't a full description. So as a project manager, I will definitely review what ChatGPT created for me. And this is like very important. We don't blindly trust ChatGPT. There were like a few examples on like a medical topic when doctors asked ChatGPT to create medical treatment for some patients and asked, is it like the best solution to lose some like important part of the body for the patient, such as like head included. And sometimes the ChatGPT recommended like, yes, for this treatment, it would be the best to ambulate head of the patient, which is like totally not true. So again, we never rely blindly on what the ChatGPT provides us, but we review and then we work with the structure already provided. So let's assume that this is the project I really like meant in my head, and I provided all the information I had. So as a project manager, I will review the structure and maybe disagree that project manager is allocating 10% of the budget. Maybe in my company, it's 25%. So I will just like copy paste this and do some adjustments, like task breakdown, just 3 tasks for each month. Maybe this is also not true. So maybe I will have 15 tasks for month 1 and just 1 big task for month 4. But again, it gives me the structure I can work with. And it's also harder for people to create something from the scratch when we have a blind list. I have these problems all the time. When I need to start working on something, on a new presentation or on a new book or even like a new webinar, I see the empty list and I don't know where to start. So I start Googling, I read many articles before I come up with the idea for starting with a structure. And I'm not saying that you don't have to do it. We have to do the research. We have to read like many articles, many books before we come up with our own idea and our own structure. But it's easier to fight the empty list fear. So a few seconds and we have something on our list. And it's always easier to find something what is wrong than create from scratch. So I look at this one and see, oh, the timeline doesn't work for me. I need to adjust the timeline. So it's much faster than just thinking about timeline from scratch. So that is one of the idea of how we can use the ChatGPT. Let's go to another example. So I already spoke about like template creation, resource allocation, risk management. So prompt writing. It's very important to address our thoughts correctly. And this is what I'm thinking about soft skills for my leadership webinars. Also, this example gave a waterfall methodology. Yes, exactly. So that example was for waterfall because we have mixed audience. So if you work with waterfall, it gives you the waterfall. If you want like agile methodology, you can mention as an agilist, write a plan for the product development using agile methodology. So it will give you agile. So this is another trick or like tip how to improve the response of ChatGPT. If you want it to speak as a project manager, start the sentence as a project manager using waterfall model, create risk management plan and like project budgeting, etc. If you want an expert opinion, ask it to speak as an SME, subject matter expert. If you want to make it like easier and like funnier, you can ask like explain what project management is from the beginner point of view, and you will have totally different results. And I see the comment, in my opinion, a well-defined list of requirements would actually help return a more realistic answer. I also think that velocity input would also help in the results. Yes, thank you, Vince. And I love the communication on chat. Unfortunately, I can't address all of your comments because we already almost half of the time of this presentation, but I read all of them while I speak, and I'm very excited of having such a knowledgeable audience. And please continue to chat with each other using the meeting chat. So coming back to the prompt writing. So for the example, instead of asking how to track project success, which is like very generic, we can ask the chat to generate a list of 10 potential metrics to track progress and measure the success of the project. For each metrics, provide a brief explanation of what it measures and why it is important, as well as suggestions on how to track and report the metric. In addition, provide an example of how the metric would be used in a specific project scenario. And I will show you the different results of these requests. So how to track project success. So you see it generates like best practices, but if you go through this list, like define your project objectives, you need to define clear objectives for your project. So this can be done during the planning phase of the project, blah, blah. So quite generic. It doesn't really give me the picture of how to track my project success other than some generic responses. So if I am a junior project manager, I would probably need to go to the mentor or the experienced project manager because, okay, I have this checklist, but I still don't know what to do. I didn't know before I asked ChatGPT. I don't know it right now. So we might blame the chat for not providing us what we want, but I want to stop here and also talk about leadership, especially when they speak with their assistants. ChatGPT doesn't know what is in your head, as well as the assistants or your employee also don't know what is happening in your head. And they, both the chat and the employees, can give you the outcome only on what you tell them. So here I provided just a few words, how to track project success. The chat doesn't know what project I'm talking about, what I mean by success, how my company operates, and all of this data. So what it could provide is just the best practices. The same as your employees, if you don't provide them the full information, or for example, you've been in the meetings where you discuss like different scenarios of the project, and then you provide them just with a summary and ask to create a template or action plan, they weren't in the meeting. They didn't hear the whole conversation. So they provide an action plan only based on what you told them. And now this is how I am training myself of like asking or like providing the request to ChatGPT and see what the response is and how Chat understands what I try to explain and what is in my head. And also thinking, if I come with this to my team, would they understand me? Probably not. So I paraphrase and try to ask more details until Chat understands what I really mean and what I want. So I've been using Chat for like a month or a bit longer, and I found out that my communication was improved with my team members. I started speaking longer, and sometimes I am cut off because I provide too many details when it's necessary, but it's another problem. But I also became more like precise of what I want. So even if I over communicate sometimes and speak longer than many people expect, we save some time from like communication back and forth, because I started thinking differently. So what data I need to provide to my team members to receive the specific action I want them to do. So let's compare and use more detailed example. So we didn't have schedule performance index in the previous response. So it's already like more detailed. This metrics measures the project progress against the planned schedule. It's calculated by dividing the earned value by the planned value. Value greater than 1 indicates that the project is ahead of schedule, while a value less than 1 indicates the project is behind the schedule. Cost performance index. So it provides metrics, it provides customer satisfaction, defect density, time to market. Yeah, still could be better, but at least we have some details we can work with. And if I am like a junior project manager, I started having a structure in my head what kind of metrics I can track for progress, and to think, do I need a schedule performance index for my project, or do I need customer satisfaction? Maybe I don't. Do we have time to market or scope creep? What is the most important? Then we can be like more creative and ask like what are top 3 metrics for our specific case. But again, I want to stop on the specific cases. Yes, we need to address as many details as possible, but also remember about your company data privacy. So don't mention like the real name of the company, the real names of your employees or bosses, the real data of your project, because sometimes you can even like violate the law by providing this information. And also keep in mind that ChatGPT, using like all of the information it can get to provide like different scenarios for like any people in the world. So for example, you work for company XYZ, and somebody maybe like even in the other continent will try to find some sensitive data about your company, and you mentioned like everything in the details, the name of your company, the name of your leader, your budget, your projects, etc. The like competitor, for example, can get this sensitive data, and your company might be in struggle. So yeah, if you want to have detailed plan, provide the data, but don't provide the name of your company or like your name or name of your colleagues. And I know some people tried to solve the conflicts with their team members. So they described the team members with the details, also providing their names. Yeah, provide the persona, like with the details of their personalities, but please don't provide the names or any other sensitive data to ChatGPT. So yeah, these were like some waterfallish example, but let's move on to the Agile and create a top 3 features based on the research that can be used for application MVP. And let's have the example, like as a project manager who is working on a mobile app for planning and booking tours around the world, based on the user budget and interests, create market research for existing solutions. And let's say product owner, because I want Agilists also to be satisfied. And I am the Agilist first, so I want to satisfy myself as well. And solutions. So TripAdvisor is there. First Finder, Creator, I don't know what it is, but it's the second choice. So probably for my awareness, I will need to Google that. Airbnb experiences, Clock, also don't know what it is. Get YouTube guide. Okay, some other details. Okay, let's create 3 features for the first example and the above. So you see, it understands and analyzes the information on the top, so it keeps in mind all of the conversation you track. So you don't have to rewrite, like create 3 features for like TripAdvisor and like copy paste the whole paragraph. You can just reflect on the conversation above, and we have 3 potential features, like a personalized tour recommendation, seamless booking process, in-app review and ratings. So let's get deeper and ask, please create 3 stories for the first feature above. So Agilists, let's be happy. It creates on the agile manner. It starts as a user. I want to be able to filter tour options based on my interests so that I can easily find tours that align with my preferences. I want to be able to select multiple interests such as food history and outdoor activities and see only the tour that match those interests. So again, can be better, but for start and to give the ideas for product owner or business analysts and to make your work better, we already have a frame. So let's make our testers work easier. So please create test cases scenario for an example above. So I didn't mention the number of test cases. I didn't mention which example. So we can expect that the answer will be a bit generic and a bit all over the place. It will create test case for like all of the examples, or like choose the example it prefers the most. So again, we need to be as much specific as we can to get to the desirable result. So we can go deeper, but let's move on to the other examples. So like risk analysis, you can use this example, you can copy paste it and play with your ChatGPT later. So we also can like automate routine tasks such as template, agendas, plannings, project updates, user story creation, so which we already did, brainstorming session and metrics. And also what I like to use it as a summary. So we have like a transcript after of like most meetings if we are recording them. So if you use Zoom or like any other tool and you record the meeting, then you can have the Word document. And instead of like reading it again and go through and try to identify the actions you spoke, or maybe like some part of the conversation you didn't understand, you can just copy paste it to ChatGPT and ask for the summary of this meeting, or like the summary of the presentation, or identify all action items. And it also has a pretty good work on that. Now, I don't have a scenario right now because it's quite like a long meeting. It will take some time for a chat to create a summary, but do it on your free time and you will be impressed by the results. Also, I like to analyze retrospectives, because when I facilitate retrospectives, I pay attention on people's mood, on how they pay attention, if everyone speaks up. So it's also hard for me to gather all action items. So again, I can use the summary of my Confluence page, like what been bad, what was good, and what we want to continue, and try to summarize it in action plan, or like create a table from the conversation. And it also does a pretty good work on that. Another example for you to play during your free time. I want you to create 3 detailed user stories from an epic, and it should be in Gherkin format of GIF when then, and provide a bit more details. So again, you will be impressed of the quality we have. So a few more examples on creation action plans, writing emails saying no. So let me choose this one. Act as a project manager of the development team. A sales representative emails you that they are about to close a 7-figure deal with a well-known brand. And if we commit to implement a list of new features in the next 2 sprints, create a diplomatic email politely pushing back while citing the risk associated with consuming the entire team for one client and sacrificing roadmap process. So this is another example on how can we write emails. So see how satisfied we have. So dear sales representative, thank you for your email and for bringing this opportunity to our attention. It's always great to hear that our software is being recognized by such a well-known brand. Yeah, pretty polite so far. However, I need to be transparent about the implications of committing to implementing a list of new features for this client in the new few sprints. So, etc. While I appreciate the potential value of this opportunity, I have to be realistic about the risks associated with consuming the entire team for our client. Our roadmap is carefully designed to ensure the balance. That being said, we are always willing to explore new opportunities. Yeah, quite well written. I am very much satisfied with this, but in case you are not, we can regenerate response. And it will write in a little bit different manner. We can also ask it to rewrite what we already have in more like business manner or easygoing manner, using versatile language, or the opposite, use the simple language. We can rate was this response better or worse. Okay, let's say better, but I even didn't read it. But all of this helps the chat to understand your preferences. And since I rated this response better than the previous one, if I want it to write a new email, it will use this style rather than the previous one. So prioritization, writing documentation, that's also what we can use ChatGPT for. And let's finish up with learning plans and tests. So You can use the chat for summarizing books, especially if there is like a famous book everybody been like talking about and you didn't have time to read it. So to be aware of what this book is about, you can just ask a chat to provide you a summary. Or also, if you are a trainer or want to recommend your favorite book to someone and you've been asked, so what exactly you like about this book? Sometimes it's difficult to create a structure in your head because you were like really impressed with like actions provided in this book, with the ideas, with insights you had, but you didn't structure it like in your head. So it's hard for you to provide an answer and empower people to read the book you like. So instead you say just like something generic, or I really like the author's experience, or I really like the insights I've got, but I don't remember like the specific quotes right now. So it helps you to structure the information you read in your head. And then if someone asks you like unexpectedly, or if you've been asked to speak up impromptu, you have some trumps into your pocket, and you don't feel frustrated in this case. If you want to create a learning plan, so you need to make sure like you have a structure like goals, skills, or like timeline when you speak to the chat. And this is a real life example. I started being keen of cyber security, maybe even like potentially I would like to move to this field. So I started exploring, and research is not like really my strength. So it was difficult for me to understand if I want to move to cybersecurity field. What I want to know first, like what is the umbrella, what is the high level structure of cybersecurity. So I started talking to like cybersecurity engineers, and definitely they provided me with so many details, with so many terminology, which I have no idea what it is about. I started Googling, and then it's like never end of this rabbit hole. So I've been scared. And then I started looking for courses. And again, like people want to sell you the course without identifying if you really need it or not. So it was another challenge. But now with the ChatGPT, I can ask it to act as an experienced cybersecurity engineer and train me on cybersecurity and to give us more details on each of the topics you are going to provide. So let's start with the general umbrella. So it provides the whole structure. So as a cybersecurity engineer, I need to have training on threats and attacks, on risk management, on network security, on data encryption. I didn't know any of this. And it took me a few hours while like Googling and doing some research and talking to experienced engineers. Few hours or sometimes even few days, depends on the topic, to identify the structure. And here is just like few seconds. And I know there are threats, there are network security, there is data encryption, security policies. So now I can ask to provide more details on each of them, and it will be like quite a detailed like plan and learn. So now I can provide please a plan for next 6 months on data and because I have no idea what it is. So it gives me the structure of what I want or I need to learn on data encryption based on the timeline I provided. And what's more, yeah, I agree with Trina, for us that had to go through it in the past. So yeah, we have not a detailed plan, but quite a plan on how I can educate myself on data encryption. But what's more, please create tests with free and answer on free to people. So I don't need to buy the tests anymore for like in Udemy or like on the other providers. If I'm like really beginner and want to test my knowledge, I can ask ChatGPT to create quizzes for me and start my training on this like simple way, and also can ask like the details, like quizzes for like each month of my education. So that's how we study with chat. And again, we are almost at the end of the meeting. I could provide you way more examples and a presentation of that. So let's conclude my presentation asking the chat to write you some notes. Okay, so chat is expressing our gratitude to all of you for listening to us and engaging with our content. We hope that our responses have been helpful and informative, and that we have provided valuable insights and answers to your questions. Thank you for your time and attention, and we look forward to continuing to assist you in any way we can. And every time it provides a different reply, so it's always a surprise for me how it's going to gratitude us today. So that was the lecture, and let's move on to the discussions, questions, or like knowledge sharing. Please feel free to unmute yourself if you'd like to speak up. Okay, you guys prefer using the chat. This was excellent and informative. I have zero experience with ChatGPT. Came to get some ideas and definitely have some now. Thank you so much. Thank you, Vince, for being with us. And so that was about ChatGPT. Notion also has the chat. I didn't have time today to introduce you to Notion, but I see like some people had no idea what ChatGPT is, so I think it would be like too much information to introduce you to two chats at the same time. So yeah, maybe like my next presentation is going to be dedicated to Notion because it's quite different from the GPT. Do you have any experience with the plugins? No, at this moment, I don't have any experience, but if we have anyone here today who has, feel free to speak up and help us. Thanks, Aina. Informative as usual, how to ask for a book summary. Just type summarize. Now in 5. Summarize and most important paragraphs. Again, I limited just with 5 paragraphs, otherwise it will take a long time. But if you want to summarize like any book, so just ask, please summarize the ideas of Adam Grant's book.
I have one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are many AI program, or I should say tools out there. Some are much more like visual. I would love for you to do a presentation, or maybe some back research, if you haven't went into that area, like part of, doing, like being an owner as a PM owner, product owner, like I could say for me, visualization is not my strength. So I need to enhance that, because I feel like once I do that, then can go, and this is the only thing that's like hindering me. So how can I use chat to strengthen that particular area? And then perhaps what tools can we use that are the best? I mean, I've done some digging, but it would really help to just kind of like look at some of the formats of that, with all our different methodologies that we have to have presentation wise, to hone in on like, this would be probably the best AI tool for product owners. This would be, you know what I mean, like for visualization. Yeah, I just think that that's helpful. And I've been there mentally, just haven't gotten there to like transcribe and everything. So what do you think?
Yes, so it can't like help you directly to visualize, because it can create like tables, the text, but not the graphs.
Right.
So another tool I use, it's Midjourney, but I just like started learning how to use it. So maybe in a month I will have another on that. But you can ask the chat to provide you like the links or ideas on like PowerPoint like templates, or like Miro board ideas. You can use Miro boards. They have like plenty of ideas of visualization. So you can like ask the topic, like your specific topic, with the chat, and provide you like with a link, and then you can start like thinking how to adjust this link to your needs.
That's true. That's true. Okay. So the first one you mentioned, you said it was Journey board or something?
Midjourney. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm an assistant, so.
No, that's fine.
Breath.
No worries.
It was just a joke.
Hard. You're like a one woman.
The chat panel you are presenting.
Exactly.
You're tired of speaking just.
You're like the one woman band, but on technology. Oh God, you're awesome no matter what. No matter what.
Thank you, Trina, and thank you guys on chat. Very happy that this presentation was useful. I like Anastasia's comment. From my experience, this is a great tool to fill in a blank page and not start from scratch, but always one needs to do their due diligence and never fully rely on ChatGPT. Exactly. So we should never use it a final product, but always collaborate with the tool as our new body. Thank you, Aina, for this presentation. Thank you, Anastasia. All right, guys, any other like comments, questions, conversations? How do we access the recording? I will upload this on my YouTube channel and then send you the links. Or you can also follow me on the LinkedIn. I will place the link in a post like later this afternoon or tomorrow morning.
Hey, Aina, this is Lata. When are you planning for the next webinar?
The next webinar is in 2 weeks on the Agile metrics.
Okay, so
and then we'll try to keep it bi-weekly.
Okay, so are you okay if we collaborate together, or like maybe a conversation kind, like maybe I can contact you, like I can touch base with you on the LinkedIn.
Yeah, of course.
With the plan, like like maybe So a group webinar, like I'm looking for.
Yeah, feel free to contact me. And I also have Agile Now website, which I am planning to update this week because the information of the webinars is not up to date there, but I will fix it. So you can also book my website and look at the schedule here.
All right, all right. Okay, it's me, Lata.
Nice meeting you, Lata. Always good to see people on camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, James. Okay, we are getting smaller.
I'm looking forward to the next one. I'm much more, there were a few things that I caught in there that I, like I was already doing some. Remember I said I was doing some homework myself, but I caught I didn't catch the extension part, so I was really happy to get that knowledge. So that's free now, right? Or
Yeah,
is it? Okay. So, okay, good. So I'm guessing the paid portion is more the visual stuff, right? Like they're saying we can have.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's more like detail oriented and it's a bit more visual.
Okay. At $20 a month.
Yeah. Like if you never use it, like the free version will give you a lot. But then you're like, when you're experienced with the free version, you can get to paid. So I'm thinking to switch to paid in April.
Okay. Yeah. They'll probably have some little subsets of like cookie cutter programs, like, all right, we'll just give you this much, for those. It's all like, it turns into business. So,
sorry, does this event have a PDU? So I don't have like allocated PDUs to that, but you can still submit it to like project management website using the Agile webinar, and you will get the PDU. I would say it's 1 hour, like one strategy PDU. Yeah, sorry, Trina.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Well, I'm going to step out because I just realized that I have another 1 o'clock and I totally have this prioritized.
Good to see you today. And
You too. Always great. So I'm looking forward to the next 2 weeks. So I'll try to calendar that. I'll look and see what I have going on, but hopefully everything will be, and I'll be able to come on.
fingers crossed.
I know. Okay. Talk to you soon. Thanks, everyone.
Bye,
Have a good weekend.
Yeah, and guys, we're already past 1 p.m. Toronto time, so I have to go to my next meeting. Was very happy to have this lunch, Friday lunch with you, and hope this webinar was useful for you. And I will see you next time in about a few weeks. Take care, guys. Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Happy weekend, and be in touch on LinkedIn.
Thank you, Aina. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.